Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here on the show, and I'm here to talk about some wrestling news, so we're gonna get right into it here. So, Becky Lynch revealed that her husband, Seth Rollins, underwent a knee surgery on Tuesday. So, speedy recovery. Seth Rollins obviously taking time off, having that knee surgery, a torn meniscus. But he wrestled 2 nights and was involved in the main event even with a torn meniscus. And he worked his ass off for so long with that injury and saw the vision through WrestleMania. And he really should take all the time he needs to rest and recover from all the other nagging injuries he has and come back fully healthy. I know when he returns, his next storyline will be cinema. And I'm glad he's getting these things fixed, like getting surgery so he can heal up. But also I wanted to talk about, what do you want to talk about? Next thing I want to talk about with Seth Rollins, as I was talking about, he competed on both nights of WrestleMania 40 with a torn meniscus. He did continue the growth of the story and finish Cody's ultimately, being his shield. He's really the MVP 100%. He deserves all the time off in the world now to rest and recover from all the nagging injuries along with the torn meniscus. But he competed on 2 nights with a torn ACL meniscus. I beg your pardon, has the family. The torn meniscus. But The Rock said he's the MVP, and he really is. You wouldn't even guess by the way he was moving. Well, I mean, if you saw recordings of him after night 2, he couldn't even get into the ring with help from 2 people. So, it probably got worse during his match with Drew McIntyre on night 2. He was really hobbling around. But people really tried to slander this man. You really couldn't tell apart from when he had to get to the ring and help Cody. That was really it. When you could tell, he has his knees seriously hurt. But yeah, really the MVP of both nights. Because, it's not easy to wrestle. When you have a torn meniscus in any sport, it's hard to play basketball, football, WWE, hard to go out there and wrestle. But Seth Rollins did for those 2 nights, and he's taking some well-deserved time off after undergoing knee surgery. So, per Wrestling Observer newsletter, there's a belief that WWE talent is less likely now to opt for AEW upon contracts expiring. Well, no shit, Dave Meltzer. WWE and AEW aren't the only 2 options in the game anymore. If a talent decides to leave WWE, or WWE doesn't re-sign them, then AEW isn't the only place they can go. The AEW roster is already full and lots of underutilized talent there right now. I feel like the market's hot everywhere to me, except AEW. But I just don't know if you want to go to a company run by a geek, Tony Khan, some immature wrestlers, the Young Bucks, and Dax Harwood, which is just sad to see, man. This side of Dax Harwood now. You hate to see it. You hate to freaking see it with Dax Harwood as well. But WWE's booming, business is booming, AEW's been a mess. That's a simple way to put it. So Def Rebel, oh boy. They've been trending for the past 24 hours on social media. And it's not in a good way. People have been making fun of how generic their themes are on Twitter, which has been pretty funny to see. The Def Rebel trend has been hilarious with some of the edits I've seen. I don't even think it's overdone, their themes are so generic. It's either really fire, or it's just generic. There's no in between. Def Rebel's just terrible. It's just simple as that. They're not good. Their themes, some themes are good. Roman Reigns' theme is good, but Seth Rollins, I like his, but other than that, Def Rebel, it's not good.
So also another note from the Wrestling Observer newsletter today.
Chad Gable and the Creed brothers are believed to be joining forces as heels. And you remember on the Raw, they showed before the show the Creed brothers training there with Chad Gable, and they even put out one of them. I think they put out a tweet that said Rady, Wheeling, and which pretty much what Rady, Wheeling, and Gable. Oh, it's almost if Meltzer watches the same show as everyone else. Or Julius Creed tweeted out Rady period, Wheeling period, and ... Rady, Wheeling, and Gable. I mean, doesn't take a genius to figure that out. But enough of Dave Meltzer stuff. Talking about Dave Meltzer, he's irrelevant. Anyways, this would make sense of them joining his forces as heels. Because the vision's clear. All three have devoted their lives to the craft of wrestling and can't seem to win the big one to get over the hump. Now maybe they could form a team, maybe take over, win some tag team gold, IC title. I don't know. Something like that. But I don't know what happens with Alpha Academy now. Like, what happens with Otis, Akira Tosawa, Maxine Dupree? Like, what happens with all of them now? That's the question. Maybe that'll be answered soon. Off the top, podcast for Rikishi thinks The Rock will turn on Roman Reigns and The Rock will be the heel, whilst Reigns will revert to a baby face for their feud. I think that's the direction that's playing out on TV right now with Solo and Tama Tonga already. It makes the most sense. I feel like the final boss is a good heel, The Rock, and after months of Roman Reigns on TV, people will be excited to see him, especially reuniting with the Usos. I think it's the direction they are heading after Solo's attack and Tama Tonga on SmackDown last week. Which, SmackDown's tonight, I'll recap that. Maybe we'll get a follow-up, some more Bloodline stuff, which should be interesting after what happened last week. Also, Wrestling Observer Newsletter said this today. The original plan at last year's WrestleMania was for Cody Rhodes to defeat Roman Reigns. Both Vince McMahon and Triple H were on board with the title win. A lot happened behind the scenes, and it was eventually agreed upon by all parties it would be stronger for him to win a year later. I mean, I did at the time think, oh, he should have won last year, but however, WrestleMania 40 I thought was more epic. But take this with a grain of salt. This is per Dave Meltzer. You can't take anything Dave Meltzer says seriously. But WrestleMania 40 was the more epic moment. So, confirmed lineup for tonight's SmackDown. About around 12.5k tickets have been distributed for the show as per WrestleTix. Cody's not going to be on tonight because he's in I think he's at the UK show, the UK live show, the UK live tour. Bayley, Naomi, for the women's title, Bayley will probably retain. LA Knight, yeah, versus AJ Styles, and I think there's a tag team match, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, around 12.5k tickets have been sold for this show, which is pretty good. Considering last year, SmackDown was only like 10k. They've got a lot more, really pay-per-view numbers for a SmackDown show. I know people are like, oh, no sellout, but 2 to 3k over the last year is crazy. I know people be like, oh, no sellout, but I mean, it's probably AEW fans, but they can't even sell most of they have so many empty seats, they can't even sell out their shows. But yeah, it's really all to say for the wrestling news here, so until next time, Light. Peace.